television and broadcast has been my career. And the interesting thing is that the way they do business is very similar to the way that we in Australia and the UK would do business. We think locally, but we act globally.
Welcome Jojo's Cross Borders Sports Day today. I'm wearing a Chinese Olympic outfit because we have a guest speaker, David White. He is the global president of a sports and media company. Welcome, David White. Thank you for coming to the show. Let me just quickly introduce your identity as a Aussie, work for American, live in the UK, dealing with multinationals in sports and media industry. Am I right?
That is 100% correct. Thank you.
All right. Could you quickly introduce to our audience who you are and what you do, please?
Yes, hello. Well, it's nice to be here. It's nice to meet. Well, I'm Australian. I was born in a little town in Tasmania, which is a little island just south of Australia, where I grew up and went to school. My big interest back in my very formative years was winemaking. My father was a wine merchant, and I trained to be a winemaker.
Wow.
When I left school, that's what I wanted to do. I was accepted into an agricultural college to learn, but I didn't have any money, so I needed some money to do that. And I was able to get a job as a television cameraman in the local television station, which I enjoyed very much. And then 11 years later, after progressing from cameraman to director, producer, into middle management, I actually was the general manager of the station. I was running the station, and I was only 28 years old.
Yeah.
So it was, and I was very, very new. I was very green in business, but I learned quickly. And then I left Tasmania in 1993 and moved to Sydney and took up a position as the chief executive of a multi-regional television network in Australia, which I did for 2 years. That company was then sold, and I moved to network television, where for 14 years I headed up the news and sport division of the network in Australia, Network 10. Sport is my passion, so it was an easy transition for me from general management to sport. And then that business was also sold. So I moved from Sydney I was offered a position as the global president of media for Lagardère, a large French sports management company.
We're going to make a joke here, okay? The joke is about how to properly pronounce this name, because I did research about this company. Okay, say the proper name first for this company.
The proper name is Lagardère.
How to spell that?
Lagardere.
Okay.
Lagardère.
Lagardère. Do you know my version? I tried.
Yes, you tried.
So my husband is American, so he tried Lagardère.
Yes.
And then I say, no. It looks like a lingerie for me.
Yes, yes.
It's a French as well.
Yes. Well, that is, we struggled with that. The French, it's a French family name, so it was never going to get changed.
No.
But when I worked in New York for 3 years, and the folk in New York referred to it as LaGuardia, which is the name of their airport just down in
New York,
in Flushing Meadow. And when we tried to do business in Asia from time to time, they also referred to it as a lingerie.
Okay, so I'm not the only Asian.
You are certainly not the only one that's had trouble.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So I had 6 years as the global president of media. 2 of those years I lived in New York and ran their American business, which was a big challenge, I must say.
And what was that as a global president for the lingerie?
That's right.
What was the challenge then?
Yes, I found managing different levels of executives and non-executive staff challenging in the US. And I think largely it's because in the US it's a lot easier to terminate someone else's employment. They don't have strong contracts, employment contracts that people can rely on. So as a result of that, people are quite reserved in how much of their own IP they will share because their value is in their IP. And I found that I tried to build a team environment. And when you're trying to build a team environment, the essence of that is sharing knowledge, sharing responsibilities and tasks, and helping each other. The situation I found that people were very reticent to do that because they felt that if they passed their IP on to others, it made them less valuable.
Right.
Which for me, coming from Australia and spending actually quite a lot of time in the UK also, that's very foreign because in Australia and here we welcome the opportunity for social interaction and team building. I found that in business in the US, it wasn't nearly as welcomed an approach as I was used to.
All right. So it's a bit cultural differences, like people's IP, as you say, that's right. And how did you solve that problem? How did you crack it?
I'm not sure that I did. Look, it was a bit of a slow burn. So my management style was very collaborative, and half the team felt very welcomed and embraced that style. The other half were wary about, as I say, sharing their IP. So it took a period of time. I was only there for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And I'd say that half the team embraced the opportunity and enjoyed it and saw the benefits of it, whereas the other half, they were very reticent to join in. So I left New York in March of 2020, which was the start of the pandemic.
Right.
And New York was quite unsafe to be. So that's why I left. And I felt that to a large extent it was unfinished business.
No.
I'd made some inroads, but it was always going to take some time to achieve that.
Yeah, and I think like as you say, there's some of them they see the benefits and then they have started to changing the collaboration attitudes or the mindset. And then so those are the employees that will stay international.
Yes.
So for those ones they don't really want to change, I mean, good luck with them. You know,
Yes.
it's not like you feel like you haven't finished that business, right?
That is true.
Yeah. But you talk about IP, right? So that's personal IP you mentioned as Americans.
Yes.
But now I know most of your works right now heavily related to selling IPs for international events, right?
That is true.
Yeah. Tell us more about what you do after.
Perhaps I can just say to explain where this came from, because television and broadcast has been my career up until 2012. Then I went to the agency side. So I went from buyer to seller.
Okay, got it.
So for me, it was a cultural shift as well. I had to think differently about how to best exploit media rights for sporting federations.
Yeah.
It was interesting along the way because when I moved to London, I established a team, my executive team, and because we're a global organisation, we had offices in France and Germany, Stockholm, Singapore, New York, Los Angeles, Sydney, in Beirut also. So we had, by and large, most of the people that were operating there were indigenous in those countries. So the way we did business, the way that I tried to explain it was, we think locally, but we act globally. So if a sporting federation came to us and said, listen, we want to have an event in Singapore, then we had a Singaporean team that could manage everything on the ground, but we then had a team in every other significant territory of the world that could assist with the exploitation of selling the rights. So we ended up being, very successful because of that.
This is so good. Yeah.
One of the challenges was that when we all got together around the table, I had an English CFO, I had a German head of sales, I had a French head of production. So we had very multicultural, and I had two American gentlemen that were very important for our Americans, Canada, the United States, Mexico, Latin America. Mm-hmm. When they're all around the table, of course, for me coming from Australia, quite sort of innocent and protected, I really felt the weight of the deep sense of history between all the different cultures.
Yes.
So, for instance, I could never, I worked it out quickly, but the French and the Germans actually never really liked each other.
And same as the French and the British, I guess.
Exactly the same as the French and the British. And
Chinese, Japanese.
Yeah. I mean, and there's no today reason. The reason goes back
to
70
history.
in history where they've never liked each other.
No.
And their forefathers around the Christmas table told of their dislike for some of their foreign countrymen.
Yes.
And that has always been passed down through generations. And,
so they bring it to the offices as well.
They brought it to the office. They brought it to the boardroom table.
Oh wow!
And for me, that was a huge challenge to keep that out of our business making decisions.
Oh right. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very interesting growth time for me personally.
Scenario. You couldn't design that well enough.
Exactly.
Right? So tell me, as a CEO, you're running the boardroom, you notice like people's aggression or attitudes, not from the events you talk about. It's back to the history. How did you do? How did you smooth out? How did you block them away?
Well, I made it I've created an environment that was welcoming. I've said before, my style is more collaborative than combative. Yeah. I'm more of a collaborative manager than a dictatorial manager or an autocrat, if you like. And I like to create that environment to assist executives in providing their best in that environment. And there's good in everybody, right? So I always thought if I could get the best good out of everybody, then we'd be in a good place. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. So I never gave the opportunity for the French to criticize the Germans because that will then potentially light a fuse.
Take it personally.
For a bigger conversation. Yeah. So I was very mindful that just to make sure that around the boardroom table, let's not go there. When everybody's back in their own countries and territories, that's the time to have hard conversations perhaps. But that was between me and Germany, or between me and France, or between me and America, so that I didn't actually have to get them all together because I felt that probably wasn't the best environment to get the best result.
Yeah, wow, okay. So I can see, let's think about the round table. So you're in the middle. You make sure that's like everything, just talking about present, current situation. You wouldn't even, you said as you are a collaborative, but actually you just mentioned as you won't give them an opportunity to criticize each other. Always like bring the best part from each party. However, you also finding your opportunity, gave each of the team hard times when they have it, but it's directly rather than somebody else is like next to them, some other teams next to them, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, very much so. I mean, and in my business, it's not like we make one product and sell it globally. Yeah. We make we make 20 or 30 different products. There might be the French Football League or the Bundesliga or the European Rally Championship or something like that. That is actually managed and far more appealing. So the Bundesliga, for instance, is far more appealing in Germany than anywhere else. So the attention for that particular set of rights was always in Germany. And it was managed by the German team. And then if we needed some inputs from other countries, and the Bundesliga was actually quite welcomed in the United States. So then I would get the United States team involved in marketing those rights in the United States, working with the Germans. And look, everybody's fueled by success. Everybody likes success. Everyone wants to be part of success. So in the sales environment like that, I managed the event at the source and then shared the upside with different territories around the world. Global.
Yeah. So just you say, I want to, there's one phrase that you mentioned that is so critical. It's to think globally, act locally.
Correct.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, leader.
Yeah. Whereas if you only had, I don't know, if you're selling cakes of soap, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you've only got one product to sell, and then so that the marketing probably needs to be different in every territory. But anyway, that's that was the way that I thought best ran the business.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, this is amazing. Right, now look at my outfits. Okay, now I'm in sports. China, that's Olympic team.
Very good.
And then it's not my sponsor, but it's the most important brand, the sports brand for Chinese. Now let's talk about stories, okay? So I want you to share some story, which is most of the audience never heard about. Something happens in China because sports rights or most of the sports is new for China.
Yes.
I mean, it's not new. Ping pong and badminton, swimming, okay?
Yes. Basketball.
Basketball. Basketball?
Oh, basketball's very strong in China.
I thought it was American.
Also in China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basketball. Right. The Chinese basketball team, men's and women, very, very good.
I thought it's volleyball. No.
And volleyball.
Okay,
but certainly basketball.
Okay, right. Yeah. You educate me now. So right.
They always do well at the Olympics.
Basketball?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not believe it. I'm surprised because I know the volleyball is the best team. Before the interview, you mentioned about the Formula One in Shanghai, right? Back to when was that? Can you tell us how did you see the China market from nowhere and turn into a mature events country? Yes.
Well, I won't for a minute suggest that I led the Formula One program into China, but I was certainly involved because in 2003, still 22 years ago now, it seems like yesterday.
Yeah. Wow.
But my goodness, Australia had a very successful, and still does have a very successful domestic motor racing championship, and back then it was called V8 Supercars. So these are similar to an American NASCAR, but a little bit more sophisticated than an American NASCAR, and very, very successful with a long history of success in Australia. Very strong television product, very strong sponsor appeal, and back then it was probably the third or fourth most popular sport in Australia, behind Australian football, Australian rugby and cricket, and then this motor racing championship.
Motor racing, okay.
Working with the rights holder, we decided that it would be a good idea if we could take the championship and have a race somewhere in East Asia. So we looked at Singapore, we looked at Vietnam, we looked at South Korea, and then somebody that was part of the team had a contact in China. And China, the government of the day invited a group of us to go there and look at what they were doing to build an infrastructure to potentially race a Formula One race.
Wow.
So it took a couple of years, but we did go and we inspected the site where they were thinking about building the Formula One circuit in Shanghai, just out of Shanghai, where it is still to this day. And on its completion, we took the whole championship of V8 Supercars to Shanghai, and over a 4-day period we ran the races. We were the first event to run in the new racetrack at Shanghai. And we were used as a test for the government to have credentials to run a Formula One race. And then in either 2005 or 2006, the first Formula One race was run very successfully in Shanghai.
So that means they passed your test.
Well, yes, that's exactly right. I think we put on a professional event.
Yeah.
They managed the marketing and gave them tremendous credentials to go and speak to the Formula One management.
Yeah.
And encourage them to have a race in Shanghai.
Yeah, and did you give them a guidance? Did you give them advice, like in terms of events itself, organizers, and the TV rights, media rights? Did you give them
we took a lot of people from Australia with us that had experience in being stewards for the event, being we took all our own television equipment and cameramen, producers and everything, but encouraged the Chinese men and women from the same industry to come and watch and learn, which it was really good.
It's very good.
We certainly had a language issue.
I'm not surprised. Back 20 years ago, not so many people speak English.
That's right. Yes, and my Chinese is limited to ni hao, but no, it was a really very
meaningful.
Yeah, it was
helping the developed country.
It really was.
Yeah. So it's beyond the language. I mean, so basically, you bring all your teams. So the real learning exchange is by see how you guys operate.
Yeah.
And then so you work with a central television, like a sports channel, I guess, right? CCTV5.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I used to work for CCTV, but my education, my Chinese education.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so, but I deal with a lot of like during the Olympic Games for the broadcasting as well.
Yeah. And then CCTV5, they ran all the championship for several years afterwards, and they may still do, I'm not sure.
Yeah, for sure they may still do. Yeah. So that is a story like a full
another very interesting story that you might find interesting is that at Lagardère we
You mean lingerie?
Lingerie.
Okay.
LaGuardia.
All right.
We managed all the Continental Hockey League rights outside of Russia. Continental hockey is ice hockey.
Yeah.
And the most of the teams are in Russia, but there are teams in Finland and in the Baltics, in Germany. And we managed all the events and the rights outside of Russia. So if the Moscow team played the team from Helsinki, then we would sell those rights to broadcasters in other parts of Europe. When it came to renew those rights, because you only own them for a certain period of time, so in 2017 we needed to renew those rights. So I went with two of my executive, we went to Moscow. One of my team is a lovely man, an Armenian, who spent 5 years at the University of St. Petersburg. So he spoke very
Russian.
Very good Russian. and my executive president of media who reported into me, he spent 12 months living with a Russian family.
Oh, okay.
So he also spoke quite good Russian.
Yeah.
So, and I spoke no Russian.
Okay.
But
it's fine.
I took
president.
2 interpreters with me.
Yeah.
But we had about 10 days in Russia with the senior people from the KHL and Gazprom. Stayed across the road from the Kremlin.
Oh, right.
And got to understand the Russian culture quite well in that short period of time I was there. And the interesting thing is that the way they do business is very similar to the way that we in Australia and the UK would do business.
In which way?
They were very honest, very honest. But, you know, they were hard but fair. And I found them very good people to deal with.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
very good
Harsh
people to
but
deal
not
with.
rude. But sometimes I feel they're harsh but rude.
Well, look.
For me, for my standards.
Yes, that they. I think. I understand what you say, and I did see from time to time very abrupt behaviour. Not a lot of softness.
No.
But from a business point of view, I thought they were very, very good people to deal with.
Okay.
And I actually made some good friends up there, which, you know, sadly today we can't really maintain because of everything that's going on in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
But for me, and their entertainment was wonderful. They took us into the woods to do clay pigeon shooting. We had a traditional Russian sauna, which was, goodness, that was very confronting.
It's like a public bath.
Very much,
hot.
and then jump out into the snow and cool down with, you know, you're only wearing what you were born with. So, but I was very apprehensive about doing business with the Russians, but I have to say it was a very good experience.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So you find us that they're quite they're easy to deal with, like in terms of being direct. You know what they're looking, you know what they're thinking, you know that they tell you what they don't accept.
Correct.
Okay, that's good.
Correct.
And you also mentioned that you're doing this like a Russian bath.
That's
and
right.
Did you try it? Did you follow the local habits?
We did everything.
Wow.
So including drinking vodka at 10 o'clock in the morning and, you know, everything that needs to be done, we did. Yeah. Okay. No, it was a wonderful experience. It was made difficult because there are a lot of sanctions even back then as to how you could deal directly with Russian entities. And one of those was that you could never use an American bank, or you could never use US dollars as a currency. So we had to make sure that we used, you know, European bank. Any deal was done in euro.
Back to 20...
This was 2017.
2017. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
They have a good full sea risk, right?
Yeah, that's
they
right.
They can see it. Okay. Smart.
And because Lagardère was a public company in France, they needed to follow, you know, all the correct protocols.
Yeah. But if this belongs to US companies, so that might be a different story, right?
Well, maybe. And, you know, when I went to Moscow, I was not expecting to see any US presence at all. But I walked around the corner and there's Ralph Lauren and there's a Chevrolet shop and there's Brooks Brothers and, you know, there's McDonald's. You know, a lot of American business doing very well in Russia.
Yeah. Politics and consumers, and they're different, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Wow, that's all interesting stories. And thank you so much, David, for your time. And then what you're saying that's about how you're leading the global teams. and how you be sitting in the center, make things happen in the proper way, and fix the issue afterwards. That is eye-opening for me.
Oh,
and
well,
of course, like share your story about the wonderful experience you helping you train China to run the Formula One is also very meaningful for a country that keen to learn and become a mature like events holding country.
Yeah.
Thank you again to coming here.
It's been my absolute pleasure. Thank you.